This is Bob Andelman, and you're listening to and hopefully watching the Mr. Media radio interview with Dan Zarella and the lovely Allison Zarella, whose name should be first on the book. They are the married co-authors of the Facebook marketing book. Guys, what I'm wondering is, with Facebook groups and other things, people go and they sign up, or Facebook pages. People they sign up for these things on the day that it seems exciting and interesting to them, and I know for myself, a lot of times you sign up for something and you never go back to it. And so I'm wondering, uh, are there any statistics yet, or is it too soon to know whether people, once they sign up for the Walmart page or the Starbucks coffee page or, uh, the Boston Celtics page, that they actually go back consistently, or is there a big drop off? Kind of like when people sign up for Twitter, lots of people signed up for Twitter and then a lot of people never use it again. Is it that type of thing?
Yeah.
You're the stats man.
Yeah, so I don't know of any statistics like that off the top of my head. I feel like there was just a announcement um, that Facebook is going to like 1 point something million accounts were going to die, which was essentially it was inactive accounts were
Yeah.
going to be deleted over the next
Mm.
year or so. As far as people going dormant on a page I think unlikes happen every time I've looked at the insights, which is the Facebook page analytics platform. Um, Unlikes tend to be pretty low. And I think the reason for that is the only thing that would really make somebody unlike something is if you were spamming their feed with a ton of updates, and if you're doing that and you're annoying a lot of people, your edge rank score, that is the score that they give to how popular a specific status update is going to be really really low, and so it's not going to show up in a lot of people's feed. So especially when you compare Facebook to Twitter on stuff like this. Facebook, again, like we were saying before, with getting that good critical mass early on in smaller communities, Facebook has done a really good job of, avoiding that sort of zombie, dead account problem that Twitter absolutely has an
I
issue
wasn't
with.
thinking so much of dead accounts so much as, for example, the Mr. Media Interviews has a page, a Facebook page, and hundreds of people have signed up, is liking it, or they've signed up, whatever the connection is, they like the page, or they, yeah. Um, a lot of them, they come and they check things out for a couple of days, but then they never come back. They never click unlike. I mean, I actually I
Yeah.
can't think that I've lost very many people who've clicked unlike, and the number has dropped. But maybe they just never come back and look at
Yeah.
it again. That's what I was kind of getting at.
It's a fine line. So what Dan's saying, there's if you are posting 10 times a day, you're sort of spamming that
Mm.
news feed, and that's what might make someone click unlike. On the flip side, you need to post regularly enough that you're staying in the news feed so that they have a reason to come back and engage with the page. If they like your brand and you never post anything, then they're going to forget about you and they're not
Mm.
going to come back. So it's strong that line of posting, once a day or maybe even just 3 or 4 times a week, but making sure that you're showing up consistently without having 10 posts in the span of
Mm.
half an hour.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think the other thing that isn't perhaps brought up enough in this conversation, elsewhere at least, is again the more activity that happens on a specific status update, the more people that like it, a specific status, or the more people that comment on that post or whatever, the more it's going to be shown in your fans' feeds, right? And
Mm.
so maybe the issue is you're posting regularly, you're doing interesting things, but there's not a ton of activity in each individual update. So people who have liked your page, have forgotten about it because it's never appearing in their feed because there isn't a ton of activity. So if you did stuff like ask a question or say like this if you like it, or what anything that can kind of encourage activity on a specific update will get that update shown in users'
Okay.
feeds
Now, in the
more.
book, you talk about profiles. You talk a little bit about groups, as you did here. You talk about pages. Let's say that someone's done all that. Is it and they're happy with it? Is that the point to give Facebook ads a try?
Um, Facebook ads, I'm not a huge fan about Facebook ads, but there is a place for them. My main focus is that you need to get your page to a great spot before you start advertising for it and spending money to send traffic there. And so for me, content is really the key part. You can customize your page if you don't have the FBML skills, then you need to focus on status updates, and that's really where you want to have the most time, money, or
Hmm.
effort spent on your page is having great status updates that will get people engaging, fill in the blank, or voting, or commenting on stuff, and giving them a reason to keep coming back. Why are they going to come to your Facebook page and not your Twitter account, not your website, not something else? You know, sort of being relevant to Facebook and your brand, and just giving them a little bit of a twist of something that's unique to your Facebook page. And then you can start sending some ad traffic and playing around. They do have a lot of really cool customization for Facebook ads and different ways you can target things and get really specific. So I wouldn't, say don't do Facebook advertising, but make sure that you understand your page and your audience before you start spending money to get a bigger audience.
Yeah. And what could Facebook do to simplify its utility for marketing in the future?
I don't know. Simplify is not what they could do for marketers. The first thing that comes to my mind isn't about simplification, but the analytics that they give you are, and the ad targeting analytics inside of that as well, are unique to marketers. There really isn't any other source for that level of data. And any more they do to improve their analytics, their insights, and then the sort of research, the market research potential of their ad platform. So essentially, you can go in and set up an ad without ever spending any money, basically go through and put in a bunch of different interests and put in geographic targeting or gender targeting or age targeting, and see how many people are on Facebook that have those things, which is a great way to do free, essentially, market research. And so if they take those tools and sort of expand them and make them, easier to use and make them a little more granular data-wise, that's the only source for that kind of information on that scale for marketers, especially at that price point.
Yeah, their analytics on like the post-by-post interactions is really interesting. What I would love them to see them do, which would make things so much easier and more fun for users, would be to relax a little bit on their strict rules about promotion and what they give to advertisers. In order to really become a power Facebook marketer, you need to spend $10,000 in advertising with them, which is just not in the realm of possibility for a lot of, especially small businesses. And it's kind of unfair. I understand they have to make money and all that, but it seems like there's a huge threshold that just opens so many doors to you when you start spending big bucks with them. And I think if they could lower that cost or have a smaller package or something like that for small businesses, that they would probably actually make more money and there'd be a lot more fun stuff going on for you.
Well, finally, last question, and we thank you for your great patience this evening as you're welcome, but folks hopefully will not know the technical efforts that we went through this evening to make this thing happen. Folks, listen, you can find Allison Zarella and Dan Zarella's new book, the Facebook Marketing Book, in great bookstores pretty much everywhere, or you can click to order it right now at a great price at MrMedia.com. If you've got the video, let's show it to you one more time. And do you guys want to tell people how to reach you via Facebook or even Twitter, God forbid?
Yeah, we're on Facebook. There is a Facebook page for the Facebook Marketing Book, which is the FB Marketing Book. I'm on Twitter as Allison, 1L, ALISON, and then Dan's got his whole name because he's not cool enough.
Oh. Dan was taken. So yeah, my Twitter name at Dan Zarella. There's 2 R's in the last name. You don't need to know that for hers, but you do need it for mine. Or danzarella.com or AllisonZarella.com.
Oh yeah, I got a website.
Yeah, all that kind of stuff. All right, cool. Or just Google.
Well, Dan and Allison, congratulations on your recent marriage, and thank you so much for joining us on Mr. Media today. It was very interesting, and it's a fun interview. Thank you.